my YouTube page after the class. So if you feel like you want to still, go through it one more time, you can go to my YouTube channel. You'll find it there. Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale on YouTube. Just type Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale, and you have access to view this video, as in the analysis video there one more time, maybe in the course of the day. Okay, so I think I'm having a feedback in the voice, but let me just reduce it. All right, so let's get started. So today we're looking at the Forex Factory. Like I said, I'm still trying to make inquiries. I'm really sure if we're going to be using another site. But definitely, Forex Factory remains our main news stage. At least, like I said, it's easier to interpret here. But for speed of execution of the time when the news will be released, we might just have a backup site, just strictly to check the time. Nothing else for that. For the main analysis, we'll still use Forex Factory, because Forex Factory is a lot easier than most other sites. The data is not so properly, put together like we have on Forex Factory. So we're not going to drop Forex Factory altogether. No, we're not. But we can just use those other ones to know the time to enter the market. So by 8 o'clock this morning, we have a news coming from the United Kingdom, and that is retail sales. Retail sales is coming from the UK this morning by 8 a.m. Coming by 8 a.m. this morning. And let's open it. Let's open the details to know what it's all about. So this news measures the change in the total value of inflation-adjusted sales at the retail level. Inflation-adjusted sales at the retail level. And if the actual is greater than the forecast, it's good for the currency. Sorry, I believe you are seeing my Forex Factory page. I believe that's what is on. If you are not seeing my Forex Factory, please let me know. So actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Now that means that if we have a data where the actual is greater, that is above 1.5%, the forecast is 1.5%. If we have anything above 1.5, that is from 1.6% and above, then we're looking to buy the pound. If we have the actual greater than the forecast, and in that instance, the color will be a green. It will be a green color, green. All right, thank you, Mr. Peter. And if in that instance, we can buy any of the GBP, though there are specific ones I'm going to show us, which I've analyzed. It's just 8 o'clock, less than 40 minutes away. So I'll give you the instruction of the specific pairs we're going to buy or sell, whichever one the outcome is. And if the actual is less than forecast, we'll be looking at selling the pound. In that case, we expect the pound to go period and below. We'll be looking at selling the pound in that instance. And that's it for the pound. By 2:30 p.m., we have 3 events from the United States. Okay, somebody's raising hand. Mohammed Clement, you raise your hand. Do you want to ask a question or what? Okay, please, can we keep all questions till when I'm done so that we don't, cause a delay in the whole analysis? Just keep the questions, except it's something urgent, but if you can wait, then wait till when I'm done with the analysis. All right, like I said, by 2:30 p.m., we have news coming from the United States, core PPI, and building permits, by 2:30 p.m. Now, if we have a green, we'll be looking to buy the dollar in that instance. But then let's just what this is all about. Core PPI, I'm trying to open the details. Okay, it's not opening. Okay. Core PPI is a change in the price of finished goods and services sold by producers, excluding food and energy. And actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And PPI itself is a change in price of finished goods and services sold by producers. For that one also, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And building permits is annualized number of new residential building permits issued during the previous months, actual greater than forecast is equally good for the currency. But then we should know that core BPI and PPI, they are closely related, very closely related, while the building permit is a different news entirely. So what we are going to be looking at is the colors in this case. If we have a green, it means the news, all the news is good for the dollar. In that instance, we're going to be looking to buying the dollar. If we have a green, we're looking to buy the dollar if the news is good for the dollar. On the other hand, if the news does not favor the dollar, then we're looking to sell the dollar across board. But then we'll also be guided on the specific pair to buy or sell in that instance. Later on by 4 p.m., we have prelim UOM consumer sentiment and prelim UOM inflation expectation. And the same thing still applies. A green in that instance means we're buying the dollar, and a red means that we are selling the dollar. But I want to believe the majority of the move will have taken place by 2:30, before we get to that point at 4:30 for the prelim UOM consumer sentiment and prelim UOM inflation expectation. All right, so that's going to be all for the fundamentals. We're going to flip over to the technical now and look at how we can take this trade from by merging our technical with our fundamental to gain a better understanding of what to expect from the market. So from the pound, I'll be looking first at the pound, and my first instrument I want to analyze is going to be, just a second. It's going to be the GBP CHF. The GBP CHF. All right. So this is GBP CHF on the daily time frame. And we can clearly see that we have price hit a support level right here. This is a support level or a support zone. Let me use another color for that. So that, yeah. So we have a support zone here, and we equally have another support here because price actually hits these two levels. At least here, the tip, price actually hits the tip at this point. So we have a valid support zone. So when price breaks a resistance, sorry, these are resistance level, pardon me, resistance levels. If price breaks resistance and retraces back to that resistance, that old resistance becomes a support, and price is expected to continue going bullish afterwards. So technically, we have a bullish outlook on the pound from the daily time frame, and that means that if the news is released and the news favors the pound, this is it on the 4-hour time frame, and this is equally what we're looking at on the 1-hour time frame. You can see that there's been, a kind of a rejection candle here. That means price wasn't able to break, that old resistance now as a support. So if the news comes out to favor the pound, we expect a bullish movement on the pound because technically we hold a bullish bias on the pound. We hold a bullish bias on the pound. So if the actual comes out greater than the forecast, we'll be looking at buying the pound. I hold more of a positive outlook in this scenario, more of a scenario where the actual is greater than the forecast. Now, what if the actual comes out, less than the forecast? Will this instrument sell? Obviously, it will sell, but you need to take caution because it may just sell to the support level alone, and depending on the volatility, it may either reverse, but the volatility is strong enough, it may break it. But we don't know how volatile it's going to be yet, so we'll have to stick with the one where we have some measure of guidance, and that's the fact that we have a bullish outlook, from the daily time frame. So I would suggest more of a scenario if the actual is greater than forecast, that you should look more at buying compared to selling. But if it comes out less than you want to sell, just make sure that your take profit should be on the support level, because we are not sure whether it's going to break that level or not, so that you don't stay too long and the thing reverses on you. So I am much more bullish biased on these instruments compared to the bearish outlook. And the same thing also happens on GBP JPY. This is GBP JPY on the daily time frame. And just like the GPCHF, we can see that price actually broke through a resistance level also. We have a breakout and price retraced yesterday to touch the old resistance level as a support. So technically, we're looking for a bullish continuation. And another confirmation of a bullish continuation, if I zoom out big, is that the yesterday candle was actually a rejection candle. The candle that touched the old resistance now as a support is a rejection candle, which gives us, this bullish sentiment also. So technically, we're looking for a bullish movement on GBP JPY, just like GBP CHF. So if the news comes out good for the pound, then we should be looking to buy GBP JPY. And again, if it comes out bad, you can only sell to this support level, after which you are supposed to be out because price can reverse anytime from there. But then the longer move can be on the buy side if the actual comes out greater than the forecast. So I'm more bullish biased than bearish biased on GBP JPY. And next I want to look at is GBP AUD. It's still the same scenario, though slightly different. On GBP AUD, this one is more of a support. Yes, there was a previous resistance, but then there was a range. So we're going to be focusing more on the support, which is this zone here and yesterday. So if the news comes out good for the pound, we should be looking at a bullish breakout. If it turns out bad, I tell you that this one is even more critical because the movement will not be much at all. So I'm more bullish biased than bearish biased on the pound. I think I've given you about 3 already. I'll give a final one. Though somebody is asking me for GPUSD, I'll look at that. But I always try to avoid giving too many pairs because I know some of us just dump all of it, which is not the best practice. Now, I'll give Euro GBP because it's a mild instrument, which I know a lot of us can manage. It's not that volatile, so it doesn't always cause much harm in case things don't go as planned. So this is Euro GBP on the daily time frame, and we can clearly see that we ended up with the market rather ended up with a rejection candle yesterday, a pin bar. So if the news comes out now, in this case, the pound is the quotes currency. In other ones, to be looking at the pound has been the base currency, but here the pound is a quote currency. So if the news comes out to favor the pound, in such a case where you can buy GBP, JPY, GBP CHF, and the GBP card for Euro GBP, if the news comes out good for the pound, you will be selling. It's going to be selling if the news comes out good for the pound. And the reason why I am more bearish bias for this, and that's why I look for to more of a bullish outlook on the dollar. On the pound, is that this guy here is trying to form an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which will lead eventually to a bullish breakout, possibly maybe from next week or anytime soon. So if the news comes out good for the pound, then we'll be looking at selling Euro GBP. All right. So that's it on the GBP. And for the person asking about GBP USD, I believe is asking for this news. For GBP USD, we don't really have much clarity at the moment. We don't have much clarity on this instrument at the moment. It's not on the support 2 days ago. It's hit a support, and yesterday it made some bullish movements. But then I'm not getting much clarity on it. Like I always tell us that we have a news doesn't mean you dump all. For the ones I've shown you, there is a specific reason why I believe they should buy. But for this GPUSD, no, I'm not seeing a clarity on GBP USD. All right, so that's it for the GBP pairs. This is coming up by 8 a.m. I think I already gave my forecast with GBP AUD. And the GBP news this morning, I am more bullish biased. I'm more bullish biased But then for Madam Onajila, I'll just oblige you. GBP AUD. This is GBP AUD. Okay, this is GBP AUD. Okay, for this one, well, I would say we may even take a little caution on this. The others are more bullish, but this one, the price is actually trading at the support, the support zone. Technically, we should see a bullish, bias. However, if the news comes out not favoring the dollar, if the volatility is strong, it may actually break the support level on this one. If the volatility is very strong, it may break the support level. Please, for those dropping requests, well, I'm analyzing news for now, and let's just be patient for the news period to, for me to get through with the news, then we can do the technicals. So for this one, for GBP-AUD, we have an old resistance here, and which became a support here. So we're looking at a key level. If the news favors the pound, we should see a bullish breakout from here. But if the news doesn't favor the pound, price will come and hit that key level. We have a shorter movement in that instance. And it all depends now on how volatile the news is. If the news is not volatile, price will just hit that key level and bounce back. Understand? But then if it comes out good for the pound, we should have a more appreciable bullish movement compared to a bearish movement on the pound. All right, so that's it for the pound. We have a dollar news also, though that's in the afternoon, and I believe my other colleague that will handle the afternoon session will do more justice on that, because that will be closer for the afternoon session. So I want to look at the technicals so that we can be on our way for this morning. I have some technical setup this morning, and they are AUD. Most of them are, about 2 of them are AUD based, and that's AUD CAD and AUD JPY, I think. Okay, yes, AUD JPY. All right. So for AUD CAD, on the daily time frame, the candle that closed yesterday closed as a rejection candle, as a pin bar on a resistance. We have a resistance level here. So the candle hits that level. So technically, we're expecting a bearish movement on AUD CAD today from a technical angle. So we can flip down to the 1 hour time frame and look out for possible entry. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the formation of a head and shoulder pattern. Shoulder, head, second shoulder, and a possible drop from there. So I'm seeing the head and shoulder on 1 hour time frame. And there is a neckline that price will need to break for us to take a sell. So that's the neckline. So if price breaks below this neckline, then you can take a sell on AUD CAD. So I'm going to type the entry. I'll type it in the chat box now so that we can take it whenever the breakout happens. We're going to be using the tip of the shadow of the neckline, as our entry point. That's you can see the neckline is exactly on Fibonacci 50, right? So okay, so I'll type it now on my notepad and post it in the group so that I can take it. So AUD CAD, sell stop. Sell stop at 0.87497. Take profits at 0.8. Okay, sorry, entry is 0.87724. Take profit at 0.87497, and stop loss. Now for stop loss, we'll do a ratio 1:2. From take profit to entry to take profit is 22 pips. All right, this is not really a volatile instrument, but then it's still okay. So we're looking at, if the take profit is 22 pips, we're looking at the stop plus at 11 pips. And that will be at 0.87835. 0.87835. All right, so I'll drop the trade call now in the group. You can pick it and put into your trading platform ahead of how the market moves for today. So I've posted it already. You can take that for AUD card. All right, so I'm bearish bias on AUD card. And the next instrument I want to look at is the AUD JPY. All right, so this is AUD JPY on the 1 hour time frame, and we have a rising wedge on the 1 hour time frame. We have a rising wedge on 1 hour time frame. We are not seeing a resistance, though normally rising chart patterns sometimes can be independent of resistance. If it's there, it's an added confluence, but if it's not there, it does not mean the pattern will not work. So we'll still take it to raw as it is. So we expect a bearish breakout, on this instrument. Okay, I'm on 4 hour now. I can flip down to 1 hour, and it's still very valid on the 1 hour time frame. You have a rising wedge on the 1 hour. So we're expecting a bearish breakout on this instrument, possibly in the course of today. So you need to just watch it very closely. So whenever you see price breakout below the lower trend line and RSI below 50, to be a time to trigger a sell on AUD JPY. So I'm bearish biased on AUD JPY. And finally, I'll look at Euro New Zealand. Now, Euro New Zealand is for our esteemed swing traders. Let me use that word. And it's a symmetrical triangle on the 4 hour time frame. I know one of the easiest patterns to trade in Forex is actually the symmetrical triangle, because price can either break up for a buy or break out upwards for a buy or break out downwards for a sell. So wherever price breaks out, just trigger your trade. Just wait for a clear candle to happen outside, if it's on the upper side or on the lower side. Once you have a new candle, whatever direction that is, just trigger your trade. And if it's on the bullish side, you can target each of the resistance levels as a take profit level, like the first one up there. And the second one, this can be a take profit level, provided it's not too close to the entry. But better still, this is also a take profit level. And if it's a sell trade, you can target, this may also be very close to the take profit. Rather, I'll be looking at this other low here. So I think personally, I'll be looking at the most recent high and the most recent low as the profit taking level for swing trading. All right, so that'll be all for my technicals this morning. So if you have any requests, you can drop it. I'll look at it in a few minutes, and we should be rounding up. So I think somebody dropped something on gold or something. I thought I saw something like that. Okay, gold, yes. So I'll quickly look at gold. Okay, two other people are dropping gold too. Okay. Now, please take note that gold will be more influenced by the news in the afternoon. It will be more influenced by that news in the afternoon. But if I want to look at it from a technical angle, for gold, we have a support here. We have a valid support here. Price broke that support and has retraced back to that support as a resistance. So technically, you should expect a continuation in the bearish direction. Now, that does not mean it's going to go as far as we have drawn the arrow. I'm just using that to explain to us the direction that gold will go. Price broke an old support as a resistance, then it should come down from technical rule. I didn't make the rule. That's what the experienced industry giants have proposed about price action movement. So if I flip down to 1 hour, we can see where gold is at the moment. On the 4 hour, you can see it. We have an old support turned resistance, so price will fall down. So at least I can say that it may fall to this level as a support and maybe form a double bottom. That's if it will have a bullish projection later on, So if that's the case, then we should be getting ready for a bearish movement, uh, on the lower time frame, like 1 hour. So if the news this afternoon comes out, to favor the dollar, then gold might just be making its way down. Now, I can also draw a trend line up there because I'm seeing something here. I'm seeing a pattern here that is looking like it's a head and shoulder. So it's having a long shadow up there, which is not really expected, but sometimes some of these things won't come out 100% perfect. So if this actually plays out as a head and shoulder, we may have, that's another technical reason to look for a bearish breakout, on this instrument. But if you want to trade it earlier, you can be looking out for a breakout below the neckline somewhere around here. So before the news, if the breakout happens, well, you may enter a sell, but please trade with caution because we don't know what direction the news, is going to go later in the day. So for now, I'm actually bearish bias technically on gold. Okay, Mr. John, which instrument are you talking about? So there's a rising wedge on 51 minutes and 30 minutes. Sorry, we don't have a 51 minutes time frame. Do you mean 4 hours or 1 hour? Let me just know. Or 50, or maybe you meant 15 minutes and 30 minutes. Is it on gold or which one? So let me know, Mr. John. And AED card is pending orders. I already dropped it, Mr. John. Sorry, Mr. Peter. But then I'll drop it again. So, Mr. Peter, this is the trade call on AED card. You can take it again. Okay, yeah, I know that should be a typo, Mr. John. So which instrument is this your rising wedge? Is it on gold or which one? Because I just finished analyzing gold. So I'm waiting for you, Mr. John. So gold. Okay, you say gold has a rising wedge on 15 minutes and 30 minutes. Okay, so let's check that. Let's check that. On 15 minutes, rising wedge. And we have a trend line in the real sense, but then if you use the word rising wedge, let's see. I'm not seeing a rising wedge because what I'm seeing up here is a normal and a regular resistance. A rising wedge means we have another line drawn at the back, which fits in perfectly, but we don't have such line at the moment. And the same thing goes for 30 minutes. We really don't have a good eye point at this place to place it. So you can see this area is like flat. This is more of a range. We don't have a definite eye. So I will not really be going with that assertion. We really don't have a rising wedge. We have sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be a rising wedge. It's just an added confirmation if it does. A trend line is just enough sometimes. That's why you don't need to force these things if it's not working. I looked at it too. I didn't see it. So I go with the trend line. And the other thing I know I can see clearly is a pattern that looks like it's not a perfect one, but at least it looks a little close to the formation of a head, a head and shoulder. And that's this one. It's not a perfect one. I've said it's not perfect, but at least it looks a little close to it. So as I said, let's look out for a breakout below the perceived neckline somewhere around here. So that's just my outlook on gold for this morning. Pending any other change in the markets, we don't know what the news will give later in the afternoon. All right, Mr. John. Okay, so I think any other person, okay, Abiola's iPhone, EJ, Udemel.btc, and Noel US30. All right, so I'll take those will be the last three I will analyze and we'll close for today. All right, so EJ, that's a Euro JPY. This is Euro JPY on the 1 hour. Let's do top down 4 hour. Then we go to daily. My view for this instrument last week was actually a buy. And I remember telling, if you watched my last week analysis, I said it was going to get to this high up here. If you remember the analysis, I drew it this way, that price, broke out. Sometimes when it's a swing, the outcome might span 2 weeks. That was priced around this period last week, and I said we should expect a bullish breakout, though it eventually declined further before the breakout. So my last week analysis just, let me say, just finally hit profit target. But now that it's at the resistance level, I think the next thing, sorry, before I go further, let's check the number of pips that, could have been generated from this. That's about the 134 pips. That's really not bad. So currently it's on the resistance level, both on the 4 hour and the daily time frame. And I think this should be a good one if it works out, because not only is it on a resistance level, it's also on a support turned resistance. Support turned resistance, then we still expect a bearish breakout. So technically, we should be looking at a bearish outlook on USD JPY. So I'll flip down to 1 hour time frame. And on 1 hour, I should be looking at drawing a trend line here and another one at the back, because I can draw one. I'm not forcing it. And we have a rising wedge on the 1 hour. So we have a key level. A key level is a level where you have multiple resistance and supports. So we have a key level here. So technically, we expect price to bounce, in a bearish direction. Now, it's possible price might try to make a run for this upper resistance before dropping. That's a possibility, or it may just drop outrightly. So Euro JPY is in a critical condition, but our outlook is bearish. Whatever happens, whether it wants to go up or come down straight away, we are waiting for it to break out downwards. That's the most, important thing. So I'm bearish biased on Euro JPY, and I believe that has answered the question of that person. Though if I'm looking at it critically again on the 15 minutes time frame, this is looking a lot like the formation of a head and shoulder pattern, which may help price to break out faster. So I'm bearish biased on Euro JPY. So that should answer the person asking about Euro JPY. So the next one I'll check now is the BTC. Now it seems the bullish run is finally here for BTC, because price just keeps, going higher and higher. All right, so this is BTC. BTC is currently buying at $52,100 to BTC, and it's actually at a spot of the tip of an old resistance level. That is this place. Now, this is weekly time frame. This should be more reflected on the daily. If price closes by the end of today on this level, there could be some retracement and possibly a continuation later on. So let's go down to daily time frame and see what is happening to price. Then we can also scale down to 1 hour. You can see what I'm saying, that it's valid as a resistance at that level, because the candle for yesterday was a rejection candle. It closed as a rejection candle. So that shows you that there was a resistance on that level. Let's flip back in time and really check out that resistance on the daily time frame. Okay, I think it's very far away, because I can't find the line. Okay. All right, you can see I'm very correct. This is the resistance level on the daily. Okay, so this resistance level was in 2021. All right. So price is hitting an old resistance level from 2021, and it closed as a rejection candle, a pin bar yesterday. So technically, we should be looking for a bearish movement. Now, that doesn't mean that BTC is now in a sell mode. It could just be a minor retracement before, a continuation. So we can flip down to a 1 hour time frame and look out for a possible bearish movement in the course of today. So I'll draw my trend line up there and draw a second one right here. So we have a rising wedge. So we can look out in the course of the day if price will break out downwards. Okay, we can still extend the rising wedge up here. So we'll watch in the course of the day if price will break out downwards. Downwards on a BTC, we take a sell on BTC USD. So I'm bearish biased on BTC USD. All right, and I'll take the last one, and that will be US30. US30 is labeled as DJ30 on our platform. It's still the same thing. DJ stands for the real name, which is Dow Jones. You know, if you listen to CNN, that is what you're going to hear. Dow Jones, that's DJ30. Dow Jones Industrial Index. All right, for this instrument, price actually is approaching a resistance level on the daily time frame. On a resistance level on the daily time frame, and on the 1 hour time frame, on 1 hour, we might be looking for a decline in price in the course of today. We have a trend line here, not, okay, let me just check. Okay, this can still fit in for a rising wedge. It can, rising wedge channel. But what I'm saying is that price may first of all go up, possibly to form a double top before declining downwards. So let's watch out for that in the course of today. But the one we are really more concerned about trading is actually the breakout, the bearish breakout. So even if it's going to go up, I would suggest, except you're a scalper, you don't need to bother going up with it. Just wait for it to break out, you know, to trigger a sell on DJ30. So I'm bearish biased on DJ30. No, we didn't give any technical analysis or GU. I've already given my outlook on GBPJPY. We are bullish biased on the news coming up by 8 o'clock. So if the news comes out good for the pound, we can buy GBPJPY, GBP CHF, and GBP AUD. But I think that AUD, we should be careful. I think I'm having my bias. I'm more focused on GBPJPY, GBCHF if the news comes out good for the pound, or you can sell Euro GBP. I think those should be the three main ones we should put our emphasis on for the GBP. I've already analyzed gold. Mr. Barra, you're just joining us. I've analyzed gold, and we're looking at a possible decline in the price of gold.
Did you say that the GBP/JPY is bearish today?
I didn't say it's bearish. I said technically it's bullish.
Okay, it's bullish. Okay.
Yeah. So we are trading it more with the news. So if the news by 8 o'clock comes out good for the pound, if it's good for the pound, you can buy GBP/JPY. If it comes out bad for the pound, if you want to sell, just be careful because it's going to hit the support level. But if it's on the buy side, that will be more sustained compared to the sell side. All right, so that'll be all this morning. I wish you a very good trading day. Please trade with caution. Please don't take risk, unnecessary risk when trading. Don't overtrade. Trade, you know, the minimum required lot size for your account and avoid overtrading.
Thank you, Mr. Aronson.
Welcome, sir. All right, wish you a very good trading day. Bye-bye.
Wishing you a good day, sir.